Info.
And talking about COVID figures, Rivers State led in the number of reported cases yesterday, 164. I think it was just yesterday we had 7, the day before 90 something. I mean, we've had 2 digits for as long as I can remember in recent times. The nation recorded 460 new cases of COVID-19. The deaths, I would need to confirm the figure, but over the weekend we had about 93. That for me is very alarming. Some people still don't believe that there's COVID. Doesn't change the fact that there is, that beds are filled, and some people have had to shut down certain, parts of their businesses just because of what's going on. My name is Enoh Enigma. Good morning. We're Nigerian for looking at ASUU Strike starting today. Doctor strike continuing. Yesterday we talked a bit about the federal government's response to, the strike by the National Association of Resident Doctors. NMA saying, well, we'll stand with our colleagues. They gave an ultimatum, 21 days. We have MD Khan. Those ones had to hold off on this planned strike. But, interestingly, the SDGs, one of the 4 top goals is good health and well-being, and of course quality education. But here we are, we don't even have a healthcare system. Doctors are overwhelmed. I mean, if you go to a hospital, some hospitals, you just go there and you fall pretty ill, worse than when you got there. And then the schools, so a lot of people don't understand the depth of it. We have people who call themselves graduate, but they cannot write, they cannot read. And then you start to wonder, how are they going to work if they do get a job? What does that also mean to the workforce and level of productivity and efficiency that work requires to get anything done? My guest will join me in a bit, but if you're affected in any way, you'd like to join the conversation, feel free to call 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. Perhaps you're among those that think that, oh, come on, ASUU, we've had enough of your strikes. Just stay at work, let the kids graduate. They've suffered enough. Or you're among those who think that the doctors are wasting everybody's time. Why are they complaining? They should just do the work. After all, we're all in this together. The country is not good for all of us. Don't make it look like yours is worse than ours. We're on WhatsApp 08090306416. Facebook at Nigeria Info PH. We're live there, so you can join us if you can. These are the matters we'll look at this morning on the Crossfire. My name is Enoh Enigma. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0009 are the numbers to call. Doctor strike lingering, continuing, NMA giving ultimatum, COVID figures, deaths actually rising. Then we have doctors running away, they're tired, they're leaving the country. This is not the first time. I think it's something that has happened a lot. It's the same way students are going abroad. Once upon a time, it was only like overseas, but now we have them studying in Benin Republic. We have lots of them in Ghana. These are our neighbors, the ones that many of us are fond of calling small, insignificant countries, but we now go there to get education. God's time is calling, where is he? From University of Port Harcourt. Okay. Good morning, God's time. Let's hear you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Oh, female. Okay, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, ma'am. How are you doing?
Good.
So I'm talking the ASUU Strike. The government should please attend to their needs. Primary students in school have not done final defense, and they are talking about ASUU Strike. They want to see people here in this stage. They haven't done 6 years. My course is a 5-year course. They added for 1 extra year to my course. I don't want to add another year, 7 years. I'm tired now.
Whoa.
I'm tired.
So how?
The government should see.
Say again?
Attend to ASUU.
Government should attend to ASUU, right?
Yes.
So you're on the side of ASUU, even though it looks like you're going to be affected in ways that we cannot even start to count.
It's going to affect me, but I support ASUU on their side because the government, they are just being silent. They are not even saying anything about our education, nothing. Now, lecturers are even suffering. We have to expect them to sleep. No good, no conducive environment for them to give lectures and everything. But on the other hand, they should just consider students. They've added 1 year for us already. All is enough.
All right. Thank you. That's coming from a student. We're in Nigeria. We're Nigerian for good morning.
Yes, good morning, Enoh.
Good morning.
Yes, what is happening in Nigeria is very sympathetic. And China is more or less things fall apart. And things have started falling apart in Nigeria. And that is what we are seeing today. The doctors, Nigerian doctors are running away. Also threatening of strike. There is hunger everywhere. Killings everywhere, insecurity. So without the change we are expecting of this government. When they took over power, they confused Nigerians that we are going to fix Nigeria will be better, everything will be okay. But today, we are seeing a different thing. So it is very unfortunate. Let us not see what we are let us see what we are seeing. Because we look at that problem. Because we were convinced that Nigeria will be better. But today, we are seeing another different thing.
Right.
God will help us.
Told you God is in Afghanistan, leave him alone. Gabriel, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Enoh.
How are you?
ASUU. How many times? This method of strike, going on strike, is old. ASUU, the body of academics, need to, as a matter of fact, find another way, another new method of pressing for their demand. This method of going on strike is too much and it's becoming bad. Once I hear ASUU's name, I hear lecturers' school name, it's synonymous with strike. That's what we can remember of them. Yes, all their needs have not been met. Yes, all the challenges are there, like for you and no, and for me, and like every other Nigeria who is paying a high tariff for electricity, paying so much for gas, cooking gas, paying every other thing, but yet we still have to find our way to go to work and make ends meet. If ASUU go on strike from now to eternity, nothing is going to change. The only thing they could do is to contribute to make sure, ensuring that the entire arrangement of the country, through their writing, through publication, through anything, symposium, to make sure that the country is rejigged and returned, every other thing is rearranged. Both education, health, and everything. That is the way it's going to work. If ASUU continue to go to strike to ask for demand for money, for this, money for that, in piecemeal, this way, they will ask until Jesus will come. They need to find another way of contributing in making sure that a nation the entire sector of education is reformed completely, including whatever they are asking for. I mean, holistic, not this method of mouse and cat, and then you chase, you go back, you chase, and they will chase forever. Let them too make a contribution and make some sacrifice. I know government have their own, but ASUU must wake up and change the method of pressing for their demand. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabriel. And that's my cue to get my guests in on the conversation at this morning. ASUU should make sacrifices. Sounds like what a senator said some years ago, that Nigerians need to make sacrifices. And Nigerians thought, okay, maybe there's something here. And then we found that they're still buying fancy cars and, living the bougie life. And then Nigerians started to ask, so what sacrifices are you making on your part? Dr. Nsikak and Ntia is here. Good morning.
Good morning, Enoh. Hi, thanks for having me.
So Gabriel is saying that, ASUU should look for another approach, that this one is not working, just cat and mouse, he calls it. How do you respond to that?
I agree 100%. I completely agree with Gabriel there, and that's very insightful. The way he's articulated his points just shows he's thought this through as well, and is quite well informed. The thing about it is that from whatever perspective you take, if you're a union, if you're that, you're part of the society, and the ultimate reason, frankly, to go on strike or press for demands and all of that, it's not just the betterment for your captive population in itself, but for the entire society. He made a point that whenever you hear ASUU, it's almost synonymous with a strike. So when we hear ASUU for breakthroughs in academic pursuits, breakthroughs in, the way we do things locally and all of that, that's the kind of thing. So contributing to the body of knowledge of whatever discipline that they collectively belong to or disparately belong to, the thrust. Secondly, even from a nation building perspective, these are some of our brightest brains in the country. I would assume that you want to get the government to the kind of conversation that's not about paying your allowances or your salaries or higher salaries or those are important, by the way, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that it's tiresome and frankly almost obsolete. Because, like he said, he made a very final point, which I'd like to commend him for. Frankly, no matter how many strikes you go on, it won't change our collective well-being as society. It won't. They pay your salaries. The next one, nurses are going on strike. Next one, doctors are going on strike. The next group, even NUR, everyone is going on strike. However, it is symptomatic of the malaise that we currently find ourselves in as a country, and it's very, very, very symptomatic, really, of that decay in that collective thing that knits us together.
We use the word decay, but in the corruption sector, everything is prolific. Everything is going on well. No glitches at all.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's more corruption than ever before. so it's not one of the indices we want to use because that's not building. That's a collective. So that doesn't help.
But so that's the thing. So the people that should be building are the ones being accused of, ensuring that that particular sector works.
Let me even give you. I mean, I hear you. I hear what you say, but I have a slightly different opinion.
Okay.
It goes beyond corruption. It goes beyond corruption. So, people in Nigeria, corruption in Nigeria, wherever in other sites in the world, thrives because it can thrive. It thrives because we let it thrive, so to speak. But more importantly, the decay in society is much more than corruption. There's an ineptitude, a collective ineptitude, a collective lack of capacity to just bring things together and think sort of futuristically. Yeah. If you have a strategy that is knit together and everybody works to that strategy, sort of, anywhere in the world, don't forget, there's no country in the world that doesn't have its bit of corruption. The question is that if it's very clear where governments are going, if the balance and checks sort of sits somehow right enough to let that boat say in that direction, then everybody feels a part of that system as running forward. What you currently are seeing when everybody takes their own piece and wants to take their own piece, it's like a dying whale. Everyone's cutting a piece and running away, but forgetting that actually we're all in that small ocean. And the world needs to leave, even allow us to exist. Okay,
so you talked about, responding to Gabriel, saying that, it's always strike, nothing like, some revolution in, some breakthroughs or anything. But, part of what ASUU has been talking about is funding of the universities. And, this is a key factor in doing whatever else they could have done. And they're saying the most basic thing is we don't have the tools to do what we should do.
So let me tell you, anywhere in the world, even Harvard, complaining about funding of the university, it will never be enough. What I want to see is that in spite of this paucity, I always laugh at this article about Thomas Edison in the lab in which he discovered the things we're still using today, election, all of that, and how ramshackle, they put him in the worst box in the world because he was a nerd. Nobody really could understand him. He wasn't liked in his faculty. So he was put to one side and all that. And out of that, he was rejected stone and became the cornerstone. What I'm saying is that I get that. There is no sector that is funded right. None. Military, everything, not even the polity is funded right. It will never be. And this thing about Nigeria has money, please forget it. We're in penury. So if you go back that I've got anything but this I have, here's where I begin to tell you someone's going right. I want to walk into a university and the students feel a sense of, that connected learning, that, there's a purpose to what I'm doing here. I'm not hearing that is, back on floor for marks. I'm not hearing that people are, hudging. I'm not hearing that handouts is a proper racket in the economy. I'm not hearing that it's marks for cash. I'm hearing that, this guy, this professor knows his stuff and we're learning so much from him. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but not enough. I want to go into a hospital and it's an emergency and it's surgery and the patient is on the table irrespective of a short status, in 30 minutes. Then you're saving that life. And everybody in that ER is going to saving that life. Not, I beg you, they're not going to bandage you. I beg, I know myself. That's what I'm saying. So in whatever small, however bad it is, I'm very convinced that right now that the solution to this country won't come from the center. It can't. the rot is just absolutely everywhere. We have to, it's coalescence of a few good things and then more good things in small disparate pockets. So you want to go and find these, honestly, and I'm trying to talk about even journalists looking for these good things and making them a bit more public. So we have to believe a story here. Because we've lost completely anything we can believe as a national
that's why I'm a bit surprised. If we've lost anything to believe in, then how do we even start believing?
Because the negative narrative, of course, as always, runs far faster than any good positive narrative. And sometimes, like when I travel and I spend time with colleagues, my friends, and all out of the country and all of that, and how they are so sure how bad it is, and some of the things they say actually doesn't make any sense. And I'm saying, tell us in Nigeria. I'm saying a funny thing about it. It's bad. Nobody's not bad. But you know, when you pare away all of the wrong narrative and go to specific indices, you'll be surprised how many things have moved in a positive direction. And I'm not holding brief for any government or anything like that. I'm absolutely dismayed by our current level of leadership. And you know what, they're losing the battle. Before the economy and everything, they're losing the battle where they connect with the people.
I mean, that's the biggest thing.
Absolutely. Because it's about people and human beings. The reason we are Homo sapiens is that we are a social species. They've lost that connect completely. I don't get it. So my point is that we all, frankly, if you remain here, because you talk about brain drain and doctors, that's when I completely talk about almost every day in my personal social space and all of that. And I'm saying that we need to look at what it is and then find whatever silver lining that can be on that rainbow.
Okay.
We'll get to that, I guess.
We can commission the ultimate search immediately.
I challenge you guys to. Happy to be on that train too.
We're Nigerian info. ASUU Strike on one side, NMA threatening to join, their colleagues on the other side, and everything in between. Dr. Nsikak and Ntia is my guest, and we keep talking after the commercial. Stay tuned.
This is the Morning Crossfire on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
.31 make that 32 gone past 8 o'clock. That's 28 before 9 o'clock. My name is Enoh Enigma. This is where we have the region's biggest conversation. My guest, Dr. Nsikak Ntia, is here. And we're looking at several issues from, NARD strike to ASUU strike. But let's get back to the doctors. You were saying that you're not very comfortable about, people leaving. Do they have a choice?
No. It's the immediate cheap choice.
It is.
It is.
So a person. Doctors have. It's been this bad forever. So we're looking at, let's say 2000, right? Till now is 21 years. So a person who looked at the situation in maybe 98 and said, oh, well, then 2000, oh, well, Obasanjo's time, maybe not so bad. 2007, okay. Here we are now. And it's looking like it's a downward spiral. So what's there to hold on to?
I'm not even talking about. First of all, you can't compete with once the opportunities exist in the first world for doctors to go out there and all of that. You can't compete with that, no matter what we do. You can't compete with that. You probably have to become a totally communist Soviet-style nation to say I lock you back in. That's not going to happen. As long as the opportunities open, what's happening in the COVID era? Many more opportunities are opening up because they need more medical people abroad, and they are clearly offering it without all of the usual barriers. Nurses are living in droves, doctors are right behind on that curve and all of that, and many other professionals that are allied to the health services. So they can't beat the opportunity, they're going to go. I'm not even sure that's the worst thing.
What is?
So here's the thing. India faced the same situation for purely economic reasons. A couple of decades ago, that doctors live in India in droves. They went to other countries, they went and practiced craft. They got better and better, and you know how studious the Indians are. They put their head down, they became the best doctors wherever they went. Typically what the Israelis would also do. And then what the government did was, okay, down the line, when the eyes opened, they said, you know what, that's fine. Go and learn, become the best doctors you can be. And then those of you that can come back, what they now did that was really fantastic was they arranged interest-free loans, ask them to go into consortia or cooperative of some sort, and then give a backbone in country, and then you come and join that cooperative and bring your expertise back and get paid for it. So some of them would come out for 2 months at a time, or 1 month at a time, or fixed schedule, put my patients together and all that, have a network of doctors on ground, and then they come and add their specialty to it. And today India is the center for medical tourism in the world. I'm saying that you can't compete with them, but can we be strategic? I'm a doctor, I've worked abroad. And let me tell you, whenever you hit 50 as a doctor abroad, thereabouts, one thing almost common to nearly all my colleagues and friends, even when you're well paid and put in a position, when you go, remember, I can assure you one thing, and please don't, I'm going to say this on air, I don't care who says anything, you will always be peripheral in that system. You would go, when I was offered a job, I remember one job I was offered that meant that I was a relief doctor in a very rural area of Australia, and I could not do anything other than be a relief doctor. So I didn't have my own station. I had to be, this guy's going up, okay, you go there, you go there, you go there. And my contract meant that I couldn't do anything else for 3 years. I wanted the money. So I left the contract. I came back and I didn't spend long. I came back to Nigeria, but that's because I got a job that was a reasonably good offer that brought me back here. And my point is, they will go for economic reasons, but I hope they also, because they want to advance career, advance skills, and all of that. And
can you separate them?
Yes, you can. You can go out there, like what happened to us in the UK, for example. You have to take the most peripheral jobs that nobody else wanted. And go to the job, so they couldn't let you into course. You can have what they call a numbered system, so they can't give you the job if they're not sure you're going to get a job as specialist when you finish. Okay. It meant that you could become what they call a supernumerary essential for a long time and not progress up the chain, and you stay for economic reasons and fill up their spare rota and their spaces. That's what I'm talking about. That and it's not that it's a story for every single person, but generally it's a thread. You would really be peripheral it's hard to find. There are a few breakthrough stories, of course, a small percentage, but don't see peripheral. So when you get somewhere older in life, you ask yourself the ultimate question, belonging, roots. It begins to make more sense to you, like, really?
Please, that's not fair.
No, I'm coming. One more point before you get off here. If the government begins to tap into that group and say, you know what, can we make, what is the easiest way we can make for you to bring your expertise back? It's happening a lot on the private side. If you go to big hospitals, see the Quest Hospital, George's and all of that in Lagos and all of that, doctors come back, Nigerian doctors who are totally skilled up there, come back for 2 weeks at a time, book all my cases and all of that. It's commercial and it kind of makes sense to them and all of that. You get a sense of belonging. They come back home. Some have come back and tried to open places. Many have failed because Nigeria is just that tough and all of that. But imagine if what they did in India, we're not tougher than India was at the time in terms of the economy and setup of places. But the government tried to shield from that and not get involved in running. So you see, government says, we can give you, in this province, we need 3, 4, 5 top hospitals in this province. Land, we can say we can help and provide. A loan to set up, we can give you interest free. We can, you show us specialties of this nature come together, band together from Apollo Hospitals born. I'm talking about things like that. So it was deliberate of a bad situation, make good. And I'm saying that already, I know many colleagues who are like, man, it might be great to come back, come and even teach. But man, seriously, Nigeria?
So that's our reality, that's where we still are.
Yes.
So in spite of how you just sounded very nice, it sounded good, the reality is still like, a shithole? Is that what Sean called it?
On air?
Okay. So, but I mean, yeah, so they could go for whatever reason, it's their life and stuff, but what really are the far-reaching effects on the local economy and the health, what we would like to call the health sector?
So, as bad as you paint it, not bad enough.
As bad as it is, or maybe even worse than I paint. I just say what.
No, you
what
haven't even reached the rock bottom part of it.
Yeah.
So, yet in this country, doctors in Nigeria that still want a place to train for residency, the kind of letter you have to go and look for in Abuja or whatever, to get into a change in this country, government house. I mean, just imagine that. So one would assume that with all of the drain, then automatically places will be begging for people. No way. So even do house job. So you finish your medical training, you say, all right, the mandatory 1-year internship to get a position in this country. I was talking to somebody else who was crying literally to me that I should help bring my supposed influence, and I said all right, and she said they told her to come with the urban of Lagos
to get a place,
to get a stamped letter, to get a place for housemanship.
What does that mean?
That you have to have that kind of connection to even do the mandatory internship.
That's like medical NYC, right?
We still do NYC, by the way.
I know, but that's
exactly. It is your mandatory. I'm just talking about even with this. Imagine how bad our system is in terms of being pro the professional, if you like. Trying to get the best. I'm talking about that awakening centrally to get the place better. To get, it's just.
So it goes back to corruption working.
Don't bring corruption into this.
No, but how is that? How is it? Is it that there are no hospitals? What is it?
So that's the thing.
What is it?
You have to be deliberate about how many doctors are coming in. By the time they're in 3rd year or 4th year, I'm asking myself, do I have places for this number? And if so, what system can I work? You should be placed by the time you're doing your sponsor. That's the ceremony we used for our graduation. We have a slightly different convocation in medical school. You should be, at that point, be placed. Somebody should be looking at, that guy. Somebody should be coming to talk to you.
Somebody should be doing their job.
I'm just saying that a strategy that is inclusive and collective.
Yeah, but it's not just for medical doctors. It should be for anyone who's working, so we don't have that system.
Every professional system should have a sense of that thread. So you deliberately guide to the best possible opportunities. And yet...
All right, we have messages on Facebook and WhatsApp. I'd like to attend to them. If you'd like to call in 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. Austin Wells says, will the strikes answer the question of decadence in the health and education sectors? If they will, I urge doctors and lecturers to continue until their demands are met. Dr. Nsikak Ntia thinks otherwise. Prince Reform Kalai Biama Upopo says too much strikes in this country is the reason for fake certificates, because these students enrolled in school with the motive to better their lives, and when that is truncated, they deviate to self-help. ASUU, please help the students. Text says used to sympathize with doctors and ASUU members, but now he's beginning to get disappointed in both unions. I mean, as educated as they are, they went and signed an agreement with the federal government whose solution is mainly on financial issues and financial components of that agreement that has not been captured in that year's budget. What?
God bless that gentleman.
What were they expecting federal government to do? Where would they pay them from? Let them keep misbehaving. Temple is in Marwan Park. Temple, good morning.
Good morning, the very distinguished Enoh. I salute you. I salute your guest also. Temple, okay. The very distinguished Enoh, if I have to be sincere this morning in my comments, the ASUU embarking on a strike again, for me, is not a very good one. Because this strike they want to embark is in accordance of agreements that has been reached since time immemorial. And for me, from my own perspective, I think the ASUU leadership, the leadership of ASUU is not even helping matters. Because it looks as if they are using this opportunity or this medium to make money for themselves.
How?
You embark on a strike. At the end of the day, nothing is being achieved. All we hear, federal government has called ASUU. They are now in a meeting, in a closed door meeting.
How
they
is
have
it that,
lasted for 6
how
hours.
is it that you mention money?
4 hours. In fact, they have gone a break and they have resumed the meeting back. At the end of the day, nothing comes out. They are going for the meeting. They will entertain them. They will give them primary envelope. They look as if they have forgotten what they went there for. And what they do is they will come back, disseminate message, information and messages with their state, escort, where we have resumed back. In fact, they are required to go back to the classroom and begin to teach.
Well, Temple, I'm not sure where you got that idea of envelope. Entertainment, well, if they're going to be speaking, they'll need water to, lubricate their throats. But let's take Felix's call, then I have Dr. Ntia continue to speak. Good morning, Felix.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
My worry about this ASUU strike that has been going on. Imagine that you will tell the people that are the employers of labor will say that you must be, if you go to employ 28 years old, you must be 32 years old or 33 or 35. And now when the ASUU strike goes on for this long, sometimes 2 years, sometimes somebody is having 5 years, because you go to graduate 8 years, 7 years, and before you know, the person has gone beyond the employability age according to the Nigerian pattern of employment. So now, is the government not, or is the policymakers not trying to make sure that age 2 should be part of, should be removed completely, so that people will not use age as a reason for employing people? Because that's the reason behind people not being employed. You see somebody at 40 years, because of this issue, they will bring their age to 30 years to get a job. And the person that will say the truth will not get a job.
Okay, well, point taken. Doctor, let's look at that matter of, signing agreements with the federal government. I mean, I wonder about that many times. You go for one meeting. I also went on strike, I think 2017, 2018, then 2020. So you go 2017, you enter into agreement. By 2018, you realize, okay, these guys are not going to keep to their side of the bargain. Then 2020, you go again after a prolonged strike.
Maybe you go back to 1993. I'm just talking about, it's always been the same. I mean, I did medicine for 7 months and 7 years and 10 months instead of 6 years. I think the question is that what's your real, collectively, where is your allegiance? What do you really want to make better? Is it just for your members' financial status? I've been a member.
Can we really separate that?
No, here's the thing. So if it's all bad everywhere, in every sector, everything is going to pieces. Sometimes, I mean, it's like you ask yourself, what we're suffering is a symptom, and I'm not blaming them as a collective, because perhaps to even survive and remain president has to make sure that he's for the people. No, I'm serious, because the unionization means looks at a kind of union's own level of politics, but I'm saying that this is just symptomatic of that lack of pool on, or neat fabric. And there's strikes everywhere in the world. In the US, everywhere there's strikes. But sometimes, if you're ever in the UK on Christmas Day or Boxing Day or New Year's Day, you're guaranteed a real worker strike, because it's a highly traveled period, and they know it will affect people the most. and they press the button. So it can be sometimes inimical from you. You think almost antithetic. But the question I'm back to saying is that, and that's point I think George, your friend, when I walked in your call, I made it was about what's your real end game here. I personally, and maybe because of I don't know anything about really Nigeria, is I'd like to get everybody, NLC, Trade, TUC, ASUU, NARD, NMA, NBA, everybody, we have a major crisis, national crisis. Hey guys, come here, the books, here the figures, everything is bad. What you're experiencing is a total lack of trust in governance, and that's the all these things are just speaking that language, and that's the truth, and that's what it is. However, if you're still here though, taking a piece and walking away isn't going to make anything better or different. It makes for a time. So even if you double the salaries today, because ultimately, I've been in enough strikes and I was an NARD myself, and I've been in the NMA, all of that. So I kind of understand that if you don't do the financial one, your members will kill you. That's the immediate. But we do too many things immediate. And I'm saying that sometimes if I was a ruler, I'm just thinking, what's the way to do it? It's easy outside here to sit back here in Nigeria Info Studio and criticize and comment and all that. But I kind of also think that some of these things also have to be different. They've been the same. It's the same cycle. I'm talking about that. I was a student and had ASUU Strike in 93. We were on strike for what? 19 months. It happened again in 94. And it led to, 2 years of my life where I was selling fish, in Port Harcourt. I had to. Honestly, and that's how I paid the rest of my fees for I'm not even joking. But that's not what the plan, that was not what the plan is. I'm just saying that if we look at the collective and say, can everybody come together and say, guys, we have a problem. Guys, can we all come together and look at in your patch, for example, how do we do this in your patch and all of that? And then the government commit to saying, people always think funding is the solution, that government put money. You can't throw money after a bad problem.
So that's the way we've been going about it.
Yeah, it has to be different.
Money. The problem.
But because they're demanding from you at gunpoint. You see what all the strikes are saying now? Imagine the amount of strikes there will be in 2022, preceding the election.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It always gets like this and then becomes more in the election year or year preceding the election, and then after that one, you can go to hell. Really.
No, but I mean, in all of this, is it that there is nothing the government can do? Because we look at the economy, we look at everything. Yes, you say there's a bigger problem. So is it that they, to their handicap, they can't work out a solution? Because that's why they're there. That's why they're being paid, to live the life that they have and to get access to the things that they have. They travel abroad. They have the best education for their kids.
And I'm not debating that. But as you can hear, most of the narratives on there, they've also lost the people.
Yeah.
And that's the point. When you get to the point where, okay, come and carry on back. You know what it used to be as doctors? Back when we were much, much younger doctors and all of that. The credibility you walked around with was sometimes admirable. It was a bit more than money at times. When I NYC, I'd go to the local market and Jesus Christ, whatever I plan to do, I'll probably come back with 3 times that. And I'm just saying that, and I'm saying that what I'm saying is that sometimes when you think about the sort of medium to long term game, you have to think about where you are in society and what you're there for.
Leadership now.
Leadership. And a sort of a check to the constituted political sort of hierarchy, so to speak. And it comes with you really be on issues. I'm not saying take political sides. I'm just talking about on issues that you have the capacity and expertise and all that. Take that centric issue, push the agenda, for betterment of society. And that sort of, I don't see anything enough of that. And you can come back and blame government all you want. No, I'm sorry. It first starts with you. As an organization, as a body, as an individual, as a doctor, I'd like to think that if I was still in government service, I'll be saying, in my unit, I want the arrival to admission time to be X. I want waiting time to drop to Y. I want a protocols established for the basic common, so that once you come, it's straightforward, something like that. And then, how do we solve the cost payments for bills? Is there some way? Can we be pushing from some kind of funding that might help? Access to healthcare? Can I look at the mortality rate in my own team or department or something, and I want it to drop to this? Do I want those sort of things? And they're happening. I'm sure they're happening in teachers' hospitals and all of that, or in many parts of healthcare. But I'm not sure they are enforced to that front line where it makes that difference. And that's the kind of thing I'm looking and I'm not seeing or hearing enough of. The yeoman's job, by the way, they're not getting the kind of support they should get.
Yeah.
But they're out there doing the job. But I hope the narrative wouldn't just be strike.
Oh, wow. Queen Iron on Facebook says ASUU striking. I don't know what to say. Can't say they're heartless because the laborer deserves his wages. They can bring up measures to help themselves, like increase tuition in order to raise internal funds. Doctors, they should just do whatever pleases them. Honestly, after all, they will still jam the politicians abroad, but they should consider the masses, because I wouldn't advise my person to stay back here. And for COVID deaths, they should stop crying wolf when they can't pay doctors. Okay. Odu says they have destroyed everything concerning healthcare. That is why they run abroad to attend to their health challenges. Rosemary Wali, ASUU strike coming up again. When will the government start fulfilling their promises and stop playing games with the future of our children? So after all those wasted months of strike, nothing came out of the government and the drama now. We're tired of watching. 0817-923-0002. Good morning.
Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Great Mind. I have a different reason and approach to this. I want to look at the root, looking at the philosophy of cause and effect. Yes, strike, satisfaction, all the others are effect. The root cause of this matter is because we, the citizenry, have not taken up the responsibility to make sure to hold our leadership accountable, to make them understand that it is our right, it is what we desire, and if they don't give us, they won't have peace. Legitimately. That is why the president can comfortably, when these medical facilities are not up to abysmal, are appalling, are disgrace, comfortably takes our taxpayers' money out of the country, comfortably stays out of the country, comes back, is feeling cool. The governors can go out comfortably, gain their family, because we allow them. If we continue like this, we will continue crying foul till Jesus Christ comes. Nothing will happen. Okay? Because
all right. Thank you. Ima is on Ntia Road. Ima, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Sister Enoh. Good morning to your guest in the studio. Last week, there was a continental information of the 10 best universities in Africa. Unfortunately, to South Africa, they recorded 8 universities. From South Africa, one country produced 8 best universities in Africa. One went to Sierra Leone and another country. But surprisingly and challengeably to me, there was no one university from Nigeria that was included. Then I want to ask you, Sister Enoh, and your guest, because that's what is called exemplary correction. Does it mean that the Nigerian government did not hear this, ask for this information to challenge them now to do their best to make sure that universities are properly funded, and also the Nigeria health sector, which NMA is in charge? My sister, no. When will the Nigerian government wake up to build this country?
All right, that's your question. How would you respond to that question? When? Because that's, I mean, in 2015, we thought in maybe 1990, we thought 1999 was the year. Then it became 2000, then it became 2010, then it became 2020, and still the same issues were still going around in circles.
Maybe 2030, maybe. I'm just saying that. So there are all kinds of things, and he's made a very, very good point. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. So if I sit down and say, as University of, let's just say, for example, Port Harcourt, I want to be known for this, and no matter what it is, I'm going to fiercely fight to keep this level of professionalism and all of that. I understand it's very cheap to say, because the same, I mean, today they're fighting over IPPS, the payment platform, and all of that, and with health salaries. It's great and all that, but again, it still centers around that money and payment kind of thing, and more about salaries than different funding universities. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. So, but if I come back to the thing and all of that, typically, so maybe we have to even look at the funding mechanism for universities. Maybe the entire model has to change, because we've come up with this system that's quite socialist for our university system, and And it's a simple truth, it's not working. There's an erosion of value, there's everything, and it's affecting society and all of that. So maybe the thing is to go back and take a hard look at the funding mechanism, the funding system, and be bold enough to say, well, let's take some hard decisions.
That's where it seems as if everyone seems to be stuck. Anyway, final message from Austin says it cannot be all bad when the politicians are never owed their humongous allowances. Now if they stop buying the best of cars for themselves and their outnumbered side chicks, the government needs high-handedness, and strike is all the workers have gone. Final word.
I don't agree, I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Nsikak and Ntia, for your time. And that's a wrap on the conversation this Tuesday morning, the last day in the month of August. What would September bring? Well, I don't know, but I hope for the best. My name is Enoh Enigma. Good morning.